Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for an Audi A3. It's a 2-litre diesel Sportback, I think it's referred to. This particular car is registered VO09VTV, and mileage on the car currently, if I can get to it, is, there we are, 95,081 miles. The reason we do these videos is very simple indeed. It's basically, we want to make sure that if anyone's looking at this car or any of our cars online in the adverts, they actually get to see that very car in operation. And this is a classic example of why, because we want basically people to know of any issues there might be on a vehicle before setting off to come and see us, because we know just how frustrating it can be to go see a car and not be told. So hence that's why we do it. So this car's coming to us as a part exchange. Chap bought a Honda CR-V. We specialise in Hondas, which is why we also sell these at a far lower price than we know they fundamentally should be worth, because we want them off the website so we can keep them clear for our Honda stock. But it's just our business model, it's what we do. So going through the car for you, engine starts absolutely instantly and settles to a completely smooth, even idle. I'll do the temperature gauge a little bit later in the video, because I like to do the videos from cold where I possibly can, and I've done it in this case. So it brings me on to basically the only thing I can find on the car. In the advert, I mentioned the fact that there were two lights illuminated actually. One was a battery light, a yellow light for charging, I believe, not the red one, just a yellow warning one. That's no longer on. It may come on, I don't know. So I think that's to do with not having enough charge in the battery, or so you need to drive the car to get some charge into the battery. But I highlighted it in the adverts. I still think it applies, even though the warning light's not showing on the dashboard here. But the car has been stood for a couple of days, started instantly, turned very quickly, so the battery seems in good health. Strange enough, this one as well, it's a brake pad warning light, but looking certainly on the outer pads, which is the ones I can see, there seems to be a lot of brake pad on there, so it may be a sensor. But I, again, not been investigated and not going to be investigated either. It's just to let you know in advance before coming to us, this light is on the dashboard. But as I said, looking at the fronts in particular, seems to be virtually new. The ones in the back had loads that I could see, so maybe just an issue there. So moving on from that, the engine, as these 2-litre diesels do, pulls like an absolute train. Smooth and quiet in operation, pulls really, really well all the way through the rev range. They are, it's a good diesel engine at the end of the day. But just going to pull away a bit. It pulls really keenly. The turbo's got loads of oomph to it, and it's up and going straight away. Engine then feeds through into clutch and gearbox. Clutch on the car, absolutely spot on. Bite point's exactly where it's meant to be. And it's nice and smooth, and actuation as well. Gearbox really nice, short in shift, feels really tight, and all the gears engaging absolutely perfectly. No notchiness. The linkage feels absolutely as it would have done pretty much when it was new, but just very, very nice indeed. Steering on the car, again, it tracks absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations at all at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit. Nice power steering system. It's nicely weighted, very accurate. Does exactly what you'd hope it would do, but it just feels nice and tight and taut in hand as well. Same goes for the chassis, because what I'm looking for, especially over the bumps I've just gone over, is I'm listening out for any kind of nasty knocking noises or rattling coming from underneath the vehicle that shouldn't be there, and there's nothing at all. It rides very quietly on the move, very comfortably, I have to say, and sort of goes to the corners nicely as well. But as I said, especially a car of any kind of age or mileage, I'm just particularly listening out for any kind of noises that really shouldn't be there. I'm going to turn around now, so I'm going to give the brakes a bit of a thump, just to see what they feel like. But I know they're good, but they bite really, really nicely. Got a nice, powerful sort of pedal to it. There's no pulsing or vibration coming back through the brake pedal either, which is a a sure sign. It's got a brake disc wear, but there's nothing at all. They feel very, very confidence inspiring. So coming to the interior, we've not cleaned it yet, or we won't be cleaning it, sorry. It's because it's a trade car and it's the price it is. I mean, it is clean in here. You know, to be honest with you, it could do with a day just giving it a nice clean or getting someone to do it. But, you know, it's been kept very nicely, I have to say. It's squeak free, rattle free. Generally, all seems in very good condition. Air conditioning pumps out lovely cold air. Tried that earlier on as well. But all seems to be functioning pretty much exactly as it should. Not that I've gone through every single last switch. I'm not going to pretend I have. I know my Hondas very well. I don't know my Audis very well, and I'm sure there's buttons I haven't pressed. But radio, climate control, gauges, all working as they should. Temperature gauge now running at 90 degrees, which is exactly where it's meant to be on one of these, by the way. So halfway up the temperature gauge there. But it drives very, very nicely, I have to say. It feels nice and solid on the road, pulls really well. I can't really fault the car. Said only that warning light on the dashboard, and it's only one showing at the moment. But as I said, I've highlighted that in the advert.